All right, good morning out there. This is K4VWD. CQ, the old friend's net. This net meets 3 times a week on this frequency. At 9 o'clock on Thursday mornings, 9 o'clock on Tuesday mornings, and at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday evenings. So CQ, the old friend's net. This is K4VWD. Kilowatt 4 Victor Whiskey Delta. Here in Greenville, South Carolina, where the temperature is 53 degrees and partly cloudy. So, with that introduction, I will stand by for calls, so all participants, please call now.
Good morning, Lee, WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
For GDN.
WB4NKL.
W4KR.
You operate that.
Okay, I think after Stan, that was Stefan, but I'm not sure. Was that ON after KR? Please call me now.
I think that was KZ4B on sideband.
I'm sorry, Charlie, say again.
KZ4B on sideband.
Okay. All right, here's what I got so far. I got LLR, ARK, LQ, GDN, NKL, KR, and KZ4 Bravo. Who else do we have?
K4 JAL.
And KN4R. W4MEC.
Okay, here's the sequence. LLR to ARK to LQ to GDN to NKL to KR to KZ4B to JAL and MEC. Is there anybody else?
Kilowatt November 4, Romeo, KN4R. Brian is up the band quite a bit. KN4 is trying to check in, but he's up the band.
Okay, Brian, you're up the band. That's R after Charlie. So, Brian, check your frequency, please. Anybody else? Okay, here is the sequence one more time. LLR to ARK to LQ to GDN to NKL to KR to Bravo to JAL to MEC and to R. Did I miss anybody?
Lee, I hate to ask you this, but would you please go through that again? Somebody's zeroing up and down the frequency and they're knocking you out.
All right, no problem. Here we go. LLR to ARK to LQ to GDN to NKL to KR to KZ4 Bravo to JAL to MEC and to R. So, anybody else? Don't hear any. So I got one announcement and one question. Thanksgiving is 1 week from today, and I will be here. I plan on being here to do the net Thanksgiving morning, for those that would like to participate. My question is tongue-in-cheek. I have told y'all before, I have a Charlie Brown calendar. And today's thing says, Charlie Brown says, well, I think I'll rub a little neat's foot oil on my old glove and put it away for the winter. Then somebody comes in and asks his excuse me, little sister, where's your brother? She says, he said something about how neat it is to be walking around outside in the winter with gloves on your feet. So that brings up the statement, if it can be misunderstood, it will be. But my question is this, what is neat's foot oil? What's a neat? And why did they get oil out of its feet? I do not understand the name neat's foot oil, but maybe some of y'all know where that came from. So, Dave, here she comes. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
All right, fine business, Lee. K4VWD and the group WA4LLR. Good morning to everybody. 41 degrees, sunny up here in the eastern part of Yancey County, and great signals. George was booming in when he checked in, so everybody's sounding really good. John sounds good now that he's on AM. Still running the Valiant and the S76, and everybody is making that big S-meter go way over, so that's good. And I like Charlie Brown, Lee. That's a good one. And I remember Neat's foot oil, but I don't remember much about it. So, buddy, here it comes. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay. Dave, very good signal this morning. I wonder what rig you're using today. I wonder if you've got the old ART-13 fired up. Well, Neat's foot oil was a fine, or is a fine oil type substance. I'm not exactly sure what it's made from, but it's used on leather. I use it on my ball glove when I was playing baseball, and it softens the leather and keeps it from being dried out and becoming hard. So that's what it is. That's what it's used for. It's not what it is. Well, it is kind of what it is, but I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. We have a very nice day today. It's clear again, and looks like we're going to have a clear day all day today. Duncan's having some problems with his koi pond that he built during the summer. It's quite large. It's about, I don't know, probably 40 feet long and maybe 28 feet wide, and it's fairly deep. But he's got this crane that comes and has been taking his fish, which is rather expensive. So we're working out a device to keep the crane at bay. So we'll go over that on the next round. N4LQ, WB4ARK.
Yeah, WB4ARK, N4LQ. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm running the Lettine 240, this morning, which is a little transmitter made back in the 50s using an 807 final, modulated by a pair of 6L6s, and I'm driving the amplifier to about 300 watts carrier, and the loop antenna. So that's what we're on this morning. I looked up Neat's foot oil. I can't resist looking things up. So the word Neat, N-E-A-T, is the Old English word for cattle, and they make the oil out of the feet of the cattle, the hooves. I don't know how they do that. I guess they just squeeze it out of their little feetsies. That's what they do. And no doubt there's probably synthetic Neat's foot oil out there that's available also, but I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is. So I got a dental appointment today at 10, so I got to leave here about 11:45 or so and make my way uptown, which takes about 5 minutes. So over to you, George. You're sounding good this morning. K4GDN, N4LQ.
K4LQ in the group is K4GDN. Well, we're running the multi-OMAC and feeding that into the homebrew 811 linear. And Lee mentioned something about me getting an amplifier from you, but I don't have any recollection of that. I've got a lot of stuff from you, but no amplifier. The amplifier I'm running here is one that I designed based on the circuit in the mid-60s handbook, and Fritz had a good bit of input on it. As it was in the handbook, it didn't have a tuned input, and he convinced me quite strongly you need a tuned input. But anyway, that's what I'm running here, and I'm running 811As, and they seem to be doing fine, really, at this output. And like I say, I'm on the multi-OMAX. I'm still having some issues with the B&W transmitter. I think there's something going on there in the final. I can't get the tuning to work quite right. I have to run the screen current up quite a bit, which to me suggests there's something wrong in the plate circuit, but I haven't been able to figure out what it is yet. So, and Neat's foot oil, I've used that for years on my motorcycle jacket, on boots, particularly boots that were going to be worn outside, where they might get wet, and the gloves, leather gloves. It's always been a really good thing to keep everything soft and keep it from cracking. So that's my take on that. I don't know whether it was synthetic or if it was real. Anyhow, with that, I'll pass it on to Cliff. WB4NKL in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN. It's WB4NKL. Okay, George. Signal's not real great here today, but copied you about 90%. Running the DX100 again, and everybody's so far is coming in pretty good this morning. Steve, I was tempted too, and I looked up Neat's foot oil on the internet, and my source here's Wikipedia. Says it's made from the shin bones and the feet, but not the hooves. I don't guess there's much oil in a hoof, but shin bones and feet of the cattle. So I didn't know either. I've used that stuff and heard of it for years, but I didn't know it was from cattle. Good day here. Going to get out and try to walk here in a little bit. I'm supposed to get up to 70 degrees, so I'm going to have to get that in before it gets real hot. Go ahead, Stan. W4KR. It's WB4NKL.
All right, Cliff, good morning. WB4NKL and the group W4KR. Well, good evening, good morning, everybody. I almost said good evening. Hello. Yeah, good evening, everybody. And I did it again. I guess I'm a little bit punchy this morning. Let's see here. There we go. Temperature here this morning is 52 degrees, and it's a bright sunny day. I expect it'll get up in the low 70s. That'll give me another day to throw a little more paint on the deck railing outside. About 75, 85. There's just about 100 feet of it, and I'm about a quarter of the way done. So, what else do I know? Thanksgiving. Yep, we'll be here, Lee. I'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We're not having any company, so it's going to be just the two of us. In fact, one of the agenda items today is what's the Thanksgiving menu going to be, and we're going to sort that out today so we can be ready. What else do I know? Oh yeah. I had this thing on well, it was the receiver is supposed to bring everybody to frequency. It was running in SAM mode, and it never Brian's call-in transmissions were too short. We never got it never got all the way back down to get within the passband. But anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it over to John. John, you on sideband, yeah. KZ4B, this is W4KR.
Okay, W4KR in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Stan. Good copy all around. Excellent conditions today. Some selective fading, but that's about it. And wanted to comment, Steve, you're always excellent audio. Sounds the best today I believe I've ever heard with your Lettine. It is just great audio. Little transmitters doing a fantastic job. And shifting gears, the lake is the lowest that it's been in many years. I guess 5 or 10 years ago, I did refurbish the pilings on my pond, and the lake was approximately this low, but it hasn't been that way since. So, plus they said that Duke was working on, I think, maybe the flume intake for the Cowens Ford Dam. So they pull it down extra low. Let's see. That's about all I've got for this go-round. So, Jimmy, take it away. K4JAL in the group. KZ4B, over.
KZ4 Bravo, K4JAL. Well, mighty fine, mighty fine. Yeah, I think Cliff's right. The last trip old Bossy ever made was to the glue factory. They make glue out of hooves. So there you go, Steve. That's about all I've got. I guess I'm supposed to give it to Charlie, I think. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. W4MEC, K4JAL.
Yeah, Jimmy, K4JAL in the group, W4MEC. Good morning. It was about 49 degrees here. Clear skies. Everything's looking good outside. Maybe I'll get to my truck today. Get that new distributor installed. Get it running, hopefully. Yesterday was a kind of overcast, kind of dreary day all day. I thought it was going to snow or something. I think it finally cleared out in the afternoon, but it was kind of pushing down on your head there. Lake Summit, which is down below me in Tuxedo, is a lake feeding a hydro plant. And the last time we had a pretty good drought, Duke decided they needed to drain the lake down and to do the same kind of work there, work on the intakes. And when there was just a little trickle down the middle of it, because of course it all used to be a mountain stream, of course, and that was still down the middle of it. And that was a time, like John mentioned, everybody got out there to work on their docks. But it was quite the mud hole. So, I guess if that lake being historically low there, John, if Duke is somehow contributing it to it, anyway, but it makes you wonder if they think ahead when the fact that there's been so little rain, but it'll probably start raining here and fill it back up pretty quick, so. Everybody's got a good signal, and yeah, Brian, you were quite a ways up the band there. I heard you bring it back down, and glad you got back down this way. But but let's see if you made any improvements on that thing. KN4R in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, W4MEC in the group, KN4R. All right, very good. Yeah, I was on BFO and thought I had it set here, but it moved on me, so I'm on Crystal now. But good morning to everybody. Great signals, and another beautiful day here in Sherrills Ford. And better than that, I'm hoping for some rain tomorrow. I think the last chances I saw were a little bit over 50%. So let's hope so anyway. But everybody's got a great signal. I'm on the Globe Champ here, listing on the Black HRO, and going to work on some military radios a little later today. So, let's see, I'm at the bottom of the list, so back to you, Lee, and thanks for running the net. And yes, I was a big user of Neat's foot oil when I was a kid, too. Just about anything leather. So, back to you. K4VWD in the group, KN4R.
Okay, Brian, thank you. This is K4VWD. Quick standby. Do we have anybody else that would like to join us? If so, please call me now. Don't hear anybody. Okay, well, Steve and Cliff, thank you for the explanation. I was wondering what a neat was, and it turns out it's Old English for cattle. So that's kind of interesting. So now I know. And yet Charlie Brown was taking Neat's foot oil and putting it on his baseball glove. So I have done that in the past myself, but I've always wondered what a Neat was. All right. Well, it's sure good to hear everybody. I got a little bit of what George was saying, but not much. I don't think he signed out, so let me see. Steve, you'll keep passing it to him, I guess, this time around. So, and I hope some of you, like Stan, can make it to Thanksgiving net. So, Dave, here she comes. WA4, excuse me. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
Okay, Lee, fine business, K4VWD. And the group, WA4LLR. Well, Lord willing and the church don't rise, I plan to be here Thanksgiving morning. We've got a Thanksgiving get-together at my daughter's house about 1 o'clock Thanksgiving Day, so 9 o'clock Thursday morning shouldn't be an issue. Buddy, you were asking about the rig. I'm on the Viking Valiant. So, nope, I was on the LRT-13 on the earlier group, but I figured I'd swap over to the Valiant for this one. And sorry to hear about the predator in the koi pond. We've got some of those cranes around. We usually see them down along the stream, and they're in there trying to catch them some fish. But yeah, that would not be good on those expensive koi. And Steve, I have to agree with John. I believe the audio on that Lettine sounds better than anything you've been on. And maybe it's just conditions this morning, but it is top shelf. Let's see. And Brian, glad you made it back down into the pass band. You're sounding good on the Globe Champ. Well, our space weather today, the sunspot count's kind of low, 41. The solar flux index is low at 124, and the K's 2. So that's pretty calm conditions, especially if we're approaching, as they say, Solar Max next year, I believe, is the prediction. And it's going to be interesting to see if SpaceX gets the big ship to fly in the morning at 8 o'clock, since they finally got their license from the FAA. I'm pulling for Elon. I hope that thing flies and does well. As far as this day in history, on this day in 1867, the first stock ticker went into operation. So the name of Edward Callahan configured some kind of telegraph machine to print numbers on some tape, and it revolutionized the stock market, because before results had to be mailed out. On this day in 1984, a little girl named Baby Faye passed away after receiving a baboon heart transplant. She was born with some kind of a heart that would not survive, and they transplanted a baboon heart. She made it 20 days before her immune system took over and didn't work out. On this day in 1965, Craig Breedlove set a new land speed record of 600 miles an hour. On this day in 1956, Elvis made his movie debut in Love Me Tender. On this day in 1957, Nikita Khrushchev challenged the United States to a missile shooting match. On this day in 1864, General Sherman started his Scorched Earth March to the Sea campaign. So that's about it. And we'll send it on down to Buddy. And interesting, I'm listening for the crane deterrent. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Well, Elvis was one of my grandmother's favorite individuals. She wasn't much into listening to the radio or music or anything like that, but she did listen to Elvis Presley's songs, and I remember she did like him a lot. Well, we've been working on some ideas, and Duggan came up with an idea of using one of these, it's kind of a balloon type device. It uses a fan, circular fan, and it's a circular type balloon, about anywhere from 10 feet to 6 feet. You can get them in different heights, and they I guess maybe about a foot and a half in diameter, something like that, and they go up quite high and swirl around, and the arms flap, and the head flaps around, and it darts up and down. So it's gonna connect one of those to a motion detector, which I'm working on that part of it, and the motion detector will turn this on when the crane comes into view. Right now he's got a water sprinkler connected, which is motion detected, and so this is going to, I think, answer the question of the crane. So we'll see how it works. Others have used it, and some are running theirs continuously, and others are switching them on and off with the motion detection unit. I'm wondering, Charlie, with all the projects you've got going on, I don't think you're ever going to get that ART-13 on the air. It looks iffy. We've got the ART-13 on today, and we got the R390 receiver going. So that's the story on the transmitter and receiver. The job of mowing got done yesterday. It was pretty big job with all the leaves and everything in the yard. But they got mulched up and moved out of the way. So hopefully we'll be able to collect those leaves and take them to the woods. I guess that's about it. I did mention that I took Butch's 32S3 back to him. Got that taken care of. And he gave me a nice little meter device that measures inductance, capacitance, and resistance. And it's a pretty nifty little tool. Uses a 9-volt battery, and you clip it on to your inductor, capacitor, resistor, and it will measure the appropriate, with the correct setting, appropriate capacitance or resistance, whatever. And it's very accurate. So that will make for a nice little tool to use on the workbench here. I guess that's about it. Well, let me see. There was something that, the neat's foot oil. There's two types of neat's foot oils. One is called a neat's foot compound. You're not supposed to use that on leather, but there is a regular neat's foot oil, 100%, and that's for leather goods. So you have to be careful that you don't get the compound, which I did many years ago. But it does work, but it's not, I think, quite as good as the 100% pure neat's foot oil. And let's see, I guess that's about it for right now. So over to N4LQ, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, N4LQ. I guess if you got in a time machine and went back to old England and talked about something that you liked and said, "Oh, that's neat," it would mean to them, "Oh, that's cow," which probably wouldn't go over too well. But I think they called it neat's foot oil because it wouldn't have sold too well if they called it dead cow hoof oil. Anyway, looking forward to the Thanksgiving. I guess we're going to do something special for Thanksgiving on the net. And I wonder if maybe we could have a turkey gobbling contest, see who can do that the best. We'll take a vote on that one. Anyway, thanks for the report on the Lettine audio. It's kind of a simple little transmitter. Matter of fact, there's no buffer. It goes from the oscillator directly to the 807 final. And the tank circuit is nothing but a capacitor and a coil with a few turns of wire around the tank coil for the antenna link, I guess you'd call it. And there's no loading control, so you have to kind of get in there and wiggle the loading link a little bit, try to figure out where to put it to get the right amount of plate current. So I'm not going to mess with it. You know, it works. They made a higher powered version of this, which I would love to find, but I don't think I ever will. It's called the 130, Lettine 130. That thing had 6 807 tubes in it. It had one for the oscillator and 2 for the RF amp for the finals, 2 more for the modulators, and 1 for the phase inverter tube. So Mr. Lettine must have run across a real deal on some 807s. But that's all. They're all plate modulated transmitters. And also, I'd like to find the VFO. Although the problem with the VFO is it's two more cabinets, containers. One has the electronics, and the other one has the variable capacitor in it, which is remote. And I think this thing was intended to be used for mobile operation. It's ridiculous to try to think about that, but it actually had a pair of wires coming out of it for the filaments to be run from the car battery, and another wire for high voltage to be supplied by an inverter or a dynamotor or something. So I don't know. I just can't imagine that. It's just too clunky for mobile use. Anyhow, I'm going to make this my last round here. I got to get ready to go to the dentist, and we'll see everybody Sunday afternoon, I guess. Think about changing the time to 4 o'clock. It's getting so late. The sun is down so low and all that. We're getting into some long skip. So, yeah, I'm thinking of going back to 4 o'clock, and I don't know if anybody has any objections or not. So comments on that. If you would comment on the email reflector, that would be best. 73s, over to George, K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the groups, K4GDN, and I would like the 4 o'clock on Sunday. 6 or 6:30, just a little bit out of whack for me. And we used to change that time back in the day, sometimes with the changing in the seasons. And I'm copying everybody really well, including you, Lee, but you always come in good. I think the problems that you have copying me are due to my location. My antennas are all around a lot of trees, and that may be part of the problem. Anyway, I'm going to say 73 on this round. I enjoyed it. Lee, thanks for calling the net, and hopefully I'll be in here on some of the Sundays. I don't think I'll be here for Thanksgiving. We're going to Charleston, and I'll be there at one of my sister's homes. Got several of the siblings are coming in for that. So with that, I'm going to say 73, and I'm going to pass it on to Cliff if he's still there. And thanks for calling the net. This goes to, let's see, WB4NKL in the group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN, it's WB4NKL. Good copy out that time. George, coming in good. Lee, I'll probably be around Thanksgiving. The daughter's coming down for supper there on Thanksgiving. And that's the only company we're going to have that I know of, so should be around all day there on Thanksgiving. And got up this morning with no water. We're hooked to the public utility, and they pump their water out of the Nolichucky River, which I hope hadn't dried up overnight. So it's getting, they said it was about 5 foot low, but it's still quite a bit of water flow. So I'm thinking we got a broke pipe somewhere here locally, and I hope they get that fixed quickly, because the wife complains when we don't have any water. And I've got a creek down here. I can go get her a bucket of water out of the creek, I guess. I'll say 73s too, and enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Lee, and we'll look for everybody there Sunday. Move back to 4 o'clock is fine with me, but what everybody decides to do, we'll do it. Go ahead, Glenn. Stan. W4KR, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff. WB4NKL, W4KR. Well, hope you get your water on. If our water went out, and we had that problem happen once. It didn't happen here, but happened when we lived up in Michigan. My bride got kind of antsy with that. Her ability for part of a day her ability to flush went away, and she got a little nervous about that. But anyway, Net time on Sunday, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock to me is better than 6:30 here, because you're in our 6:30 is our dinner time, and propagation wise, it's probably better to it's about that time to move back. I know we're going to move the Tuesday night net back to its winter time, either next week or the week after. We've been running at 7 o'clock, and we're going back to 6 o'clock Eastern time. Is the Texans who operate on, there's a Texas group that operates on 3885, and they've been in the summertime we don't hear them, but now they're back again. A good bunch of guys, and I don't think they hear too many of us, but it's a constant heterodyne in there. Steve, I have to go along. The audio on the Lettine. When we were kids, we used to call those Lettine 240s, and the audio on that puppy is really smooth. Really sounds good. So I'm going to sign with this one also. I'm turned the gain up, and I've been out in the hallway here working on the big rig, and I got to find a 1K 150 watt adjustable, a wire wound that's adjustable, Omite type, because the one that was in there is measuring 17 megs, and that will prevent any audio coming through the system. Nope, always something. Anyway, let's see. John, to you it comes, and 7-3s everybody, Lord willing. We'll see everybody Sunday afternoon at whichever time. GZ4B, the old friends group, W4KR.
Okay, W4KR in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Stan. With regard to the Sunday evening net time, to me, later is better, both from a standpoint of propagation and also, especially in the wintertime, there's not that much daylight. So if you've got any projects going outside, you need the daylight. So I'd rather operate in the dark. So bottom line, for me, later is better. Just thought I'd throw that out. Shifting gears, we have a crane here that is a beautiful bird, huge crane, love watching it. I don't know of any exotic fish, although we love to see him fish. Or her, I'm not sure what sex it is. But we love to crane watch. We're overrun with geese. My next door neighbor loves to feed the geese corn. And so the crane is a wonderful change for the better. I don't know how much experience you guys have had with geese, but geese are a mean, aggressive animal, like your pet dog is smart enough to not go anywhere near them. I think I'd rather go up against a rattlesnake than a mad goose. But enough on that subject. One project I'm going to try to do today, I bought a Werner Ladder Company step stool, aluminum step stool, to make it easier to access my mobile antenna, which is mounted on the luggage rack of my little Kona N SUV. And right now, to make it easy to get to, I have the antenna on the extreme left side of the car, on the roof. And I'd like to move it more to the middle for hopefully a more uniform transmitting pattern. So the idea is to use my new step stool and slide the antenna mount over so that it's more in the middle of the roof. I'm not sure I can get all the way to the middle, but I can get more toward the middle. So that's today's project, and I still haven't installed my water tank, bladder tank, and the wife is driving me crazy saying that should be at the top of your list. So that's the news from Lake Wobegon. I want to